Hey everybody, I am going to take you along through the greenhouse with me today. So there will be a lot of videos. I am starting off the morning by starting my process of bottom fertilizing the Lisianthus seedlings. This is my absolute least favorite thing. We have hundreds and hundreds of trays in here, so to bottom feed everything is pretty impossible at once. And so I will show you the method, especially on the Lisianthus plugs. Okay, sorry, I got a phone call. So the Lisianthus is one of the specific seedlings that I absolutely make sure we have time to bottom fertilize, as we really want the development of those roots and we want them to grow as fast as possible because they are such a slow growing flower. So we want to give them all the care. Fertilizing is like our #1 goal this year. In this setup, last year we were in like a makeshift greenhouse, and fertilizing was super difficult, so I was not as consistent as I like to be. So this year, that was our #1 farm goal, is to feed everything and get it thriving as much as possible before we take it out. And so I do fertilization in a lot of different methods throughout the week. I like to foliar spray because I can do the whole greenhouse in like 10-15 minutes. And so I do foliar feed at least once a week, and I'll show you the fertilizers. It's the same one I'm going to use on the Lissies. So we foliar feed at least once a week. I make my way through the greenhouse with this method, doing bottom fertilization, especially on some of our cut flowers that we're really focused on getting that root development for. And then I also do a foliar compost tea spray, which I'll make a different video about, and that's a new for us this year. But we're trying to just rotate and give as much opportunity for these plants to thrive as much as they can while they're in this protected environment, so we can get them big and healthy, so when they go outside we have even more success than we did last year. So come along, I'm going to show you the process that I go through with the Lisianthus seedlings, and this is the same thing we do. It's a kind of a passive process. I'll do 3 trays at a time, and then I go do other stuff in the greenhouse, and every 10-15 minutes I come swap out trays and sit another 3 in here. So let's go. Okay, this is the fertilizer we're using today. I've used a lot of different, this is a fish emulsion. We've used all of the varieties, all of the brands of like fish, kelp emulsion, fertilizers. You know, I'm not a scientist, I'm not sure. I think the nutrient contents are all fairly similar. The smell is different for each brand. I've been using so much fish fertilizer over the years that the smell, like, honestly, it does not faze me. But I would say this brand is maybe a more palatable smell, less potent than, say, like the Alaska fertilizer. This is not a promotional, unless Bare Ground, you want to sponsor us, sure, we would take some free fertilizer. But no, this is the brand we got in. I thought the price was very reasonable on it, and we can even get in a 5-gallon bag of it if we wanted, which is what we'll be switching to, because we also use this same fertilizer out through our drip lines in the field. So we go through a lot of it in a year. So I'm gonna eyeball it here. The nice thing when you're using like a fish emulsion or a kelp emulsion is we're not super worried about like burning the seedlings. It's a very gentle fertilizer. We're not putting in like a really potent powder fertilizer. This is a very natural product, so I'm gonna eyeball it. The directions say to do 4 ounces per gallon of water. Most of the fish emulsion, it's about like a tablespoon per gallon. If you have tiny seedlings, you could cut that in half. I just kind of eyeball it. I know the color of the water I'm looking for, so I'm just gonna do a couple long pulls and I'll fill up the water. This is just an old like shop cart I got on an auction for like $10. It's got 2 levels, but I'm just using the top level today, and so I'll just pour my fertilizer right in here. I'm gonna fill it with water a little over halfway, and then I can just sit my trays right into it, and I just roll it along through the greenhouse as I continue to fertilize through the day. I have to continue adding fertilizer and water as they'll soak it up. You'll see when we look at the trays, I let them dry out really nice overnight, so they'll soak up all of this good fertilizer water. It's like we're at an ocean-side resort here. I'm not kidding, guys. Either I'm immune to the fish fertilizer smell, or this is a really good fish fertilizer. It does not have a nasty smell to it. It smells like oceanside. I don't know. I'm digging it. Last year we used a lot of Alaska fish fertilizer, and that stuff literally made me feel like I was gonna barf every time I used it. So either that got me used to the smell, or this is just much better smelling. That's what we're gonna go with. Okay, I don't want to fill it too full because I still have to like scoot. This was really smart. I have to scoot this down the alley over a drain, so fingers crossed that I do not tip this over and spill all of this on me, because that would be nasty. Okay. Come for a ride. Ooh. Okay. At least if this tips over and splashes all over me, it's on video, right? Okay, down the hump. Let's try to find a more level spot here. Okay, that's pretty level. Actually, let's start at this end. Like, with my ADHD self, I have to follow like a very specific pattern. Otherwise, I'll just start grabbing random trays and sitting them in here, and then I will forget which ones I've fertilized. And so I have to force myself to like start in one area and follow the pattern, if anybody understands that. Here are the Lisianthus trays. These are 512 trays. Not perfect germination, but pretty dang good. They've been through a lot here in the greenhouse, so we're pretty pleased with them. Just sit them right in here carefully. This is a half tray. It had petunias on the other half that I've already taken out, so again, pretty good germination. We've got true leaves on all of the Lisianthus now. This is an Arena 3 red. It's exciting when I can hold it this far away and you can actually see them. What I've been really watching for is root development on these, and you can see that all of these have roots coming out. That's why I keep them in these small trays, is I really want a strong root ball, and in these trays I can really develop that without them getting leggy, the roots getting really long and weak. They're a really nice strong bundle in here. And that is it. I will let these soak for about 10 minutes and then I'll swap them out with the next 3 trays. Happy farming. I've got to stop doing the thumbs up. I don't know why. Happy farming.